We'll go ahead and, I mean, Vernon, you're obviously well removed from the game from your playing days here, as well as Kenny is. But
you calling us old, Bryan?
Hey, I'm calling myself old.
That's what I'm hearing, Kenny.
He sneak dissing us, Bryan. He calling us old. Hey, man, cut that out.
He did.
Man, I date myself too. Come on now.
You dating us, Bryan. Don't put no date range on us, man.
7 years old and 89, for God's sake. I mean, I'm dating myself here. What's going on, everybody? Fall in, at attention. You are locked into another episode of the Husker Army Podcast, brought to you by the great folks right over here at Hurrdat Sports Network. And, of course, if you get the chance, hop over to Facebook, become a part of the Facebook fan page, the Husker Army Facebook fan page. It's like 33,000 members, something like that. Become another member. We can always grow larger by the day, and we do. So we'll get right into this for a moment here. We'll give you the quick plug on the merch. Of course, we got a new link for it, and that is going to be shop.hurrdatsports.com. It has changed. It's not just hurrdatsports.com anymore, shop.hurrdatsports.com. See it right there. We got the T-shirts. We got the dad and the trucker hats, the beanies, two different styles in the hats as well for the beanies and the dad and trucker hats. We got the coffee mugs, the stainless steel tumblers. Let's see. I know Ramir Johnson, he's ordered himself a coffee mug. That seemed odd to me. I don't know. I don't know why. But you can see right there, Kenny's wearing the black letters only trucker hat. You can see right here the white letters only trucker hat, which I got signed by all the guys at the charity event at Sinat's Sandbar in Omaha yesterday. This will come out tomorrow on Monday. So it was Saturday. I got to meet Emmett, Dylan, Prohaska, Bullock, a bunch of the guys. There was more guys there than what they had originally slated on the post. So it was a great outing, $30 for the charity. It was totally worth it. So you get your chance. Like I said, you hop over shop.hurrdatsports.com. Obviously, hat and signatures are sold separately, so I don't know what to tell you on that. You're on your own getting signatures. So here we go, folks. We're back for the episode here in February. About 3 weeks removed from my second neck surgery, so I apologize for the scruffiness. Not allowed to shave yet. So I hate it. I hate having a beard.
Suck it up, man. Like Suck
it up. I'm looking like Grizzly Adams over here, man. Oh, good Lord. All right, so we are back, and of course, I am your host, Bryan Knutzen. With me, as always, our other host, former Husker wide receiver and multi-time national champ, Kenny Cheatham, and our guest today. Guys, you're going to love this episode, trust me. Former Husker Vernon Powell, also the man responsible for bringing the prayer to the Huskers. And he's going to dish out on all that and how it came to fruition. Before we let you say anything, though, quick, Vernon, I got to let you know, man, you are now enlisted into the Husker Army. You are any guest that is on here, man, they're automatically enlisted. I thank you for sending that picture to Kenny getting it over to me. I'll tell you, man, those older photos, those are hard to clean up, dude. Those are really, like, when I tried to clean up Calvin Jones's photo, I thought it looked good, but no, it came out looking pretty grainy.
You have to remember, man, that's old school camera work right there, baby. They got some age on it, man.
It's the old AstroTurf on the field, man.
Hey, that AstroTurf was nasty, but it looked good. It looked clean when that field was clean.
It did look good, but you might as well have been playing in the street.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Hey.
All right, Vernon, thank you so much for joining us, man. I can't thank you enough. How's your Sunday going so far?
Sunday's going well. Getting up, moving around, trying to get these old bones to moving.
I hear you. Me and Kenny talk about it all the time, dude. Year by year, it's catching up, and we're slowing down.
Yeah, something.
All right, Vernon. Well, I mean, look, I don't want to keep people waiting on this one because I don't want to keep myself waiting on this one, really. I've got to know how and why did you bring the prayer to the Huskers?
How and why?
Take your time. Take your time.
So those are two good questions, but let me just put it this way.
But give us, before you drop into that, B, if you don't mind, give us how you got to Nebraska from the Genesis to the Exodus. Tell us how you got.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, give us the live story, Vernon.
How much time do you all have?
Oh, there's no time limit. We got no time limit.
Letting you rip.
All right, here we go. And I'm gonna give a little bit. I'm a little modest, but I will say this. It's been a true pleasure and honor to even go to Nebraska back in the day. I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. A lot of people mistake East St. Louis for St. Louis. East St. Louis is the southern part of Illinois, 3 miles east of St. Louis, Missouri.
They have the pink slip.
I got the pink slip. We got the pink slip. Absolutely. Yeah, so I just want to make that known because people, even when I went to Nebraska, I think in part of the literature, it says East St. Louis, Missouri. So I want to make sure everybody understand that. During that time, we had about 75,000 people living in East St. Louis. East St. Louis is considered to be one of the most impoverished communities in America, crime-ridden communities in America. However, in spite of all of that, we have a lot of great residents, a lot of great people that has taken their time to instill in the youth that we have there. And I'm very proud to be a product of that particular city in which I was birthed. Now, just going into the football history, going to East St. Louis Senior High, I was coached by Robert Shannon. We call him Bob Shannon. And Bob Shannon was an amazing coach, a coach that led many teams to national championships, not just state championships, but national championships. And for many years, we held the title as number one team in the nation. I can even say myself, just my time there, I only lost 4 games in my whole career. 2 of those losses were state championships. The other 2 was my sophomore year, which I was not a starter, but I was a contributor. So I can say it's a very successful time there. And during my time, because we are such a team or a city that's looked down on, our coaches instilled resilience in a bunch of young men that probably didn't have hope from the outside. But what we did have was hope within each other. And they instilled that in us. So now let me get to the prayer. And then I'll go into how I wind up going to Nebraska. The prayer did not start from the University of Nebraska. The prayer started from East St. Louis, Illinois. That prayer, and it probably was before me, but when I got there, the prayer was being implemented and stated by one of our coaches, and that's Coach Stallings. It's heartfelt. A lot of people just say the words, but to understand that you live that life, and in spite of your trials and tribulations and the things you've gone through life, these words resonated in our system to say, regardless, if we lose, we're going to stand by the road and cheers the winners go by. And winners don't necessarily have to mean the game itself, but it's the game of life. So a lot of times people just say the words because it sounds good, but you have to understand the magnitude in which that prayer came from. I was an athlete, considered to be an athlete. When I first went to East St. Louis, Illinois, I joined the team as a receiver, DB. And it was quite fun. I mean, going behind some of those great athletes, I was just honored to even be on the team, to be honest. I was probably about 5'8", 5'9" at the time. I finished up at 5'10", probably about 150, 155 at the time. But remember what I stated. Number one team in America, exceptional athlete. Brian Cox. You all know Brian Cox.
Wow.
Brian Cox was on my football team.
Oh.
Of course, he graduated before I got there a year before, but he's from East St. Louis. And this is not a slight to Bryan, but I will say this. Bryan probably was not the most talented athlete that we had there. Mm-hmm. We had other athletes that came through or didn't get the opportunity to expand themselves for whatever reasons. I don't get into that. But needless to say, my first year, I was a receiver, DB, behind some great athletes. Eventually, my coach took me under the wings and said, hey, you know what? You're an athlete. You can run. How about trying to play quarterback? I said, Coach, play quarterback? He said, yeah, play quarterback. So I took it serious because a coach of that stature asking me to play a position that was out of my realm. He sees something in me that I didn't see in myself. So I got up every morning, met him at the school, 6 o'clock in the morning, just to learn how to throw the ball successfully. Mm-hmm. So I became a quarterback. The end of my sophomore year, we was playing against Homewood Flossmoor. Our main quarterback, Herman Price, who played for the University of Arkansas, wound up getting hurt. We brought our next quarterback in. Unfortunate things happened. That playoff game, they put me in, and I helped make magic happen. Almost pulled that game off, but I didn't as a sophomore. Going into my junior year, I started as a quarterback with some of the most dynamic people in front of me. Marvin Lampkin, who was also my running back. He played for the University of Iowa. And Milton King and so on and so forth. So I was led by great people. That year we lost state. We was 13-1. The one loss we lost was in state. And I'll tell you, you all may know some of these people. Was that the year? It was the year after. Frank Komet. You all remember Frank Komet?
What? You
know who Frank Komet is?
Yeah.
Okay, Frank Komet, that's who we played in the state championship game. Frank Komet was a great ball player. We should have won, but they beat us. And I scored I had a long run against them guys, but they beat us fairly. They beat us. Frank Komet's son now plays for the Chicago Bears. He's their tight end.
Wow.
So, yeah. That year, I think we was still in the top 5 nationally. My senior year, we went in the top 5. We didn't have but 9 seniors on our team. Mm. And we did well. I'll tell you who else was on my team. Dana Howard.
Ooh.
Dana Howard was Dick Bucket's Award winner for the University of Illinois.
Yep.
Dana was a year under me. He played, of course, he won the Dick Bucket's Award for University of Illinois. Went on to get drafted. I think he got drafted by Dallas. But we had some great athletes. That year, we did well. We got to the state championship, 1 loss. We lost to Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel had some great athletes. Chicago. Before me, Nate Turner actually played. I think he played for Mount Carmel. Mm-hmm. Ed Stewart.
Oh.
And I don't know if Ed remember this, but Ed Stewart, because I was looking at some old footage. Ed Stewart was actually a year under me, but he played for Mount Carmel. And they beat us in the championship game. So Nebraska, along with some of the other schools I was being recruited by, recruited me as an athlete. And this was, I finished up in 88, meaning football season. I graduated in 89. They offered me a football scholarship. I was choosing other places, but I also had to look at my talents and what my talents brought to the table. So I chose Nebraska. Coach Osborne is a wonderful coach, but is a wonderful coach. So under his leadership and guidance, I I was more than honored to take that scholarship. Coach McBride, who is and still is one of my favorite coaches of all time, stayed with me, coached me, continued to stay in my ear. I would always adore that guy. They offered a scholarship. I took it. Went there behind some of the great people I watched them do their thing and just learn the system. Going into, I want to say, my sophomore year, 91-92 season, I asked Coach McBride, Coach Osborne, if I could say the team prayer. They said, I said, yeah, I have a team prayer that I brought from my high school that I would like us to start using. He said, okay, let's give it a shot. All right. So for me, I knew how it felt to me. And some of the inner city athletes that came from some of these urban cities would understand the magnitude behind what I was giving. And every time I said this prayer just spoke to me. So I gave the prayer. Players was motivated. They was encouraged. They was motivated, excited. They said, this is our prayer. From now on, you will be our spokesman for this prayer. And I led the team from that point on until my day of leaving Nebraska.
Wow.
That's how it came about. So all the naysayers and so on and so forth, the truth be told right now, I'm shutting it down. I'm letting people know no more misunderstanding who said what. No, Vernon Powell brought it from East St. Louis, Illinois, based off of my coaches from the 80s and even before that. So I just wanted to make that.
So we got the record set straight then. All right. There's no debating, no arguing. As I told you before we started, Vernon, I heard that for the first time in 98 from our junior varsity coach, my sophomore year in high school. And it stuck with me. And then the first time that I heard it at a Husker game, it blew me away because I knew it word for word. And I couldn't believe that the team I love most and has a place in my heart with my family is how much it means to me to know that they're using something like that. It filled me with a ton of pride. It really did. And Vernon, I wish you knew just how much this really means to not just the program, but to the fans itself. There is a 2-part documentary called Day by Day about Nebraska football, about the heydays of the back-to-back titles. And when they take something that you've brought here from your personal experience, from your high school, and they've turned it into basically almost the motto of Husker football, to place that on something that they beloved and put so much time and effort into this documentary, to call it Day by Day. Vernon, I'm not even sure you realize the magnitude of what that prayer really carries around here, but I can't thank you enough.
Exactly. And that's why I said we have to get him on. I've been trying for a while having a VP. I said I have to get you on there. I said, because people need to understand. I think a lot of times when people don't know the origin of something, you get it watered down. So now you're getting it clear and uncut and can really understand where it comes from, why it was so significant, and with it being brought to Nebraska, how it resonated with especially a lot of kids. Because you think about that. I know about East St. Louis. East St. Louis is rough. And to have something like that with the kids, with the things that's surrounding them, can you imagine how at that moment, all of the stuff around them is on the outside? Because this is where we're at. This is what we're focusing on. This is us. So it's taking the heart. So to have it go, like I said, like Bryan said, VP, I think you hear it and you see it, but I don't think you understand that this is a calling card, that prayer for every Nebraska fan. So as I also explained to Bryan, there's a difference between, because from your era, my era, when you started it, in our era, even how the cadence is done. Like, to us, when we hear it, we're like, oh, they're kind of just running through that.
Mm-hmm.
For us, when we say it, it's way deeper in meaning to what we said. It'll never match what it meant to you guys in East St. Louis. But for when we say it and how it's said, it's next level. And you can see the difference. And Bryan, I don't know if you've seen the VP. If you get a chance, I'll send it to you. When I said, Bryan, I don't think you understand when we were there for that national championship, when we said that how the cadence was crisp, and you can see the meaning in all of us about what it meant.
Instead of speeding through it.
Yeah, instead of speeding through, it's boom, boom. So you can hear every word, you can hear every syllable, and it's not sped through. Just we're saying this to get out. No. So yeah, VP, I think you need to just sit back and look, and East St. Louis need to sit back and look. And I want to say, and Nebraska fans, I'm speaking for all of them, we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you. Mm-hmm. So,
well, can I add a little bit more?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna say this, guys. I'm very. I don't know if it's me getting older or whatever, but every time I hear that prayer, I get emotional. I'm emotional now. Right. That's why I have my glasses on. You really can't see what's going on. But I'm emotional now because of what it really means. People use words, when readers read to understand what they're reading. It doesn't matter how fast you go or so on and so forth. Sometimes you have to slow down and get the true meaning of what those words mean. And for me, like I said, coming from a city when people gave us no hope, and the only way you survive is either dying or drugs, whatever. But there was other life that was instilled in us. Hardworking parents. When we talk about stand by the roads and cheers the winners go by, that doesn't mean we as athletes going to stand by the road. And that means in life as an individual, those who made it, we're going to cheer for them. Those who have took the time and the courage to do what they needed to do for them, we're going to cheer for them. But at the end of the day, it's about being able to have passionate about the people that we provide services to. The people who don't have hope, the people who don't believe in themselves. It's about us being able to get up, stand in the midst of a storm for those individuals who don't believe. And as my team, they gave us no hope, but we was able to be successful. In Nebraska, they often said that, hey, you all are good for the Big 8, but outside the Big 8, there's no chance that you can win because it's too much speed from the Miami boys and the Florida State boys and so on and so forth. It took us time to build, and unfortunately, I wasn't a part of those teams, but I can see the magnitude on how you built your system to get where we needed to get to. And I will say that prayer, if you really let it magnify inside of you, you actually took that prayer to heart and say, you know what? No matter what people say about me, I'm going to get up and keep going, and we're going to win one day. So that's it, guys. I was on my soapbox. I just it's just a lot about that prayer just resonated inside of me.
Yeah.
Well, and you're absolutely right, Vernon. You especially getting emotional when you hear it or speak it yourself. I get the same way. When I hear it being spoken, especially by the team or a teammate or a coach, I get these goosebumps, and then it wells all the way up into my eyes, and it's literally a swell of pride, and you can feel it happen. So, like I said, the magnitude that this prayer is carried with this team for so long now, I still can't thank you enough. Whenever you hear day by day, you automatically think Nebraska and you think of that prayer. And as you said too, Vernon, with it meaning more than just about football, when you stand by the road and cheers the winners go by, in life, that means when you see somebody succeeding, don't tear them down. Don't try and think of a way that they got there in a manner of which you thought wasn't right. How about you stand there and cheer them on as they climb the ladder of life instead?
Absolutely. You got it. You got
There's
it.
Deeper
That's
meanings.
Exactly
There's
right.
deeper meanings here.
Absolutely.
I do say football is life to me, but look, it's not everything. Do I take it very seriously? Oh, yes, I do.
Absolutely.
But not as serious as life.
And that's the whole thing. And once people realize it's bigger than that, then they'll understand why it was truly implemented. It's not only about football, it's about life. You got, like I said, you come from, and we all deal with life differently, whether you a urban kid or a rural kid from this part of the world, it doesn't matter. Everybody have their own struggles. But when it's all said and done with, what are we doing to instill some hope into those people? All right, come on, Bryan. Let's get off of it, man. You're going to have me talking about this all day.
Well, real quick. Excuse me. You said that Nebraska had offered you a scholarship. Where were the other offers from?
I had different schools. Miami sent me a letter. Clemson. I was considering Clemson at one point. Some unfortunate things happened. Memphis State. Records show, if you look at some of the writings when I came to Nebraska, it shows some of the areas that offered me. That wasn't all the schools that offered me. It was quite a bit. Right. But those were the ones I named. But there were quite a few schools.
Who was, as far as coaches go, who was the solidifying factor that, hey, I'm taking Nebraska scholarship?
I'm going to tell you, and I say this, and I hope he get a chance to listen to this. Coach Osborne was great. He was the closer. But for me, he was the closer. However, it was Coach McBride. Ooh. Coach McBride, Coach Brown, actually, we spent some time too, and so on and so forth. But Coach McBride, to me, was the godfather. And me coming from East St. Louis, and East St. Louis is 99.9% African American.
Oh, wow.
And for a man of his stature to come in, and he spoke hope. He spoke things that my mother wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. In spite of football, he's going to graduate. And it's not going to be an easy task for him. We're not giving anything. He's going to earn it. And if that means, can I say a curse word?
Yep. Oh, all good.
Okay. If that means getting his ass up every day and running them stadium stairs because he's not doing what he's doing, then he's going to graduate. We're going to make him do that. And so that resonated not only with my mom, but with my school. Because as I stated, people want to use you for your talents, but people don't want to help you progress. And everything that we do as a city is about progressing. And he instilled that. And I love that guy. And I love Coach McBride. And that's who solidified everything for not only me, my city, my mom, and everyone that came before that.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, Vernon. I'm going to make sure he ends up seeing all that you just said, because Hurrdat was just asking us if we could start doing, little clips out of the shows so they could post, get people engaged. That clip's getting used, and I am tagging Charlie in that one. That is for sure. He's gonna see and hear it one way or another. And you're not the first one that I've ever heard speak about Coach McBride like that either. I was fortunate enough to meet him a couple times, and both times, one of the most down-to-earth guys you'll ever meet. Very humble. Wanted to talk about almost anything other than football to begin with.
Yeah, and I think especially when you hear guys with on the defensive side of the ball, because we had contact with all the coaches. We were all close with all of the coaches. But the love that the players who were on defense have for Coach McBride is unrivaled. Only other coach with that amount of love is Coach Osborne.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think Coach McBride was, and I know I'm going to say is genuine. He genuinely loved his players. He was hard on your ass, but he was going to make sure it wasn't just to be this mean, tough, rough coach for no reason. It was life lessons in that. And even us as offensive players can go holler at Coach McBride and be like, hey, Coach, blah, blah, blah. And he, you know, and he kept it real. It was like you're talking to an adult who's a father figure, who's also a peer, telling you what you need to hear. It wasn't going to sugarcoat it. And I think a lot of times you get these coaches and these people in these positions, and they're pretty much giving you the spiel. People don't want to hear the spiel. People want to hear the real. And when you keep it real with people and you present that and it's authentic, oh man, people will run through a wall for you. And I know that's a cliche, but they will run through the wall. You think those defensive players will run through the wall for that man right now?
Oh yeah, hey, I will. I'm gonna tell you what, because I started off. I mean, just to recap this, I went in. They asked, "You want to play on the offense side or defensive side?" And yeah, me being an offensive player, my last few years, I could have played quarterback because it was option. You know, I'm running option. I know how to run and so on and so forth. But I said, no, I want to play on the offensive side. I want to play receiver. And in my head, I'm thinking, man, I want to go pro. Mm-hmm. Of course, I want to get my degree. I was going to get my damn degree. Yeah. But I want to go pro, right? And to me, you had great athletes. You had Nate Turners. You had Tyrone Hughes. You had Jerry Godowski was quarterback. I can't think of. Oh God. Well, anyway, we had great receivers.
Yeah, we did.
And it's not that I couldn't compete because, as I stated, I competed all the time. It just
was that when Kenny. Was that when Kenny Bell's dad was there?
What's Kenny Bell's? Oh,
is it Tremaine Bell?
No, it's
oh God, why am I thinking Tremaine Bell?
It is Bell, but yeah, I didn't know that was his father. Yeah. I played with him.
I had no idea Kenny Bell's dad went there.
Yeah. What was dad's number even?
Okay.
Yeah, he was there. Bell, I can't think his first name. Gosh, it's slipping me.
I know.
But those
that's
guys
a bad Husker fan.
Me. And at some point, Coach, I was getting lost in the sauce, and Coach McBride paid attention. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, athlete, East St. Louis, just as fast as some of the other guys that was there. We know how to win, but I was getting lost. Mm-hmm. And at some point, Coach McBride, I guess the coaches decided we need to move two athletes to the other side of the ball. Coach McBride spearheaded and said, hey, give me Vernon Powell and give me Kenny Wilhite.
Oh.
So the two of us, we was a little shook because both of us are off inside the ball. We like, oh man, we got it. And I sat in the weight room for a minute, and I'll be honest, I cried. How they gonna just move me like I ain't that good? Is it my size? No, because I got heart of a lion. What is it? Coach McBride brought me in his office and said, hey, I want you to come play for me. I need to utilize what you have. I need Kenny Wilhite to utilize what he had. And both of us, it's funny, Kenny and I, we actually grew up playing Little League football. Let him tell the story. We'll get into it. I'll tell you all that later. But him and I actually grew up playing Little League football. Kenny was a quarterback. I was a little running back. And we grew up until I went to East St. Louis. which is 3 miles away. Anyway, the two of us from that area playing on that side of the ball, small guys, but we was going to make some stuff happen. Coach McBride, I went over there. I'm like, I'm getting lost again. He said, no. I need you to work your ass off. This is what I need you to do. Sure enough, I started working. And when I started working, I started playing. And I started, making some noise and so on and so forth. Never judge a man by his size, but judge him by his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. So I love Coach McBride for instilling me toughness. I already had it, but he instilled more toughness in me and not get relaxed on my talents. I worked the next man that was considered to be an All-American from some of these other cities. Show them what your city instilled in you so you can make some noise.
Yeah, as far as Coach McBride being the type of man he was, for me, it just takes one example to know the type of respect the players had for him, the way you guys viewed him as, like you said, Kenny, as not just a father figure, but as a peer. When he can wrangle in somebody's attitude like Christian Peters, you've got something going, man. You know what you're doing. You know how to speak to them. You know what they need to hear, what they don't need to hear, and you know how to treat them. Because Christian, anybody will tell you, and even his brother Jason will tell you, that man was wired so differently.
Yeah, he was something else.
Woo!
So he was something else.
Some of the stories I have heard.
He was something else.
My God.
The dude was something else. He was tight. He was part crazy. He was something else. He was hilarious. Christian was something. He was hilarious. He was a different dude. You know how some people are just different dudes. You'd be like, this is just a different dude.
Terrell's quite the different cat too.
Different dude.
We had some too. We had some. We and I don't want to call names, but we had some guys that was a little touch. We had some different dudes. They was a little touch. I was like, oh, okay, but that's all
Dana
right.
Princeton is a different dude. D-Rock is a different dude.
Hey, that's our frat brother. But
we had D-Rock. Hey, we had D-Rock on here. He was at an event smoking hookah. he couldn't even talk half the time because he had an event. And so
I don't think he even knew he was on with us half the time.
Different dude.
Oh, I was dying that night, man. That's right. I forgot about that, Kenny.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Him and Kareem. But yeah, it's just dope to hear Vernon say that, because when we talking about, like I said, Coach McBride, and this is where I go back to, he kept it honest with you. And Vernon may have heard this. I may have said something, but Bryan may have heard me say this also. I'll never forget, he was sitting there and we were doing something, and he said, I know you're frustrated, kid. He would always say stuff to me. And then one day he just kind of said, hey, you guys have an NFL wide receiver sitting right here, and you don't get him the ball.
woo.
You don't understand why he's frustrated. I know what he is. Send him to me and I'll make him a millionaire. Like, give him to me. So isn't it ironic the exact same thing was said, Coach McBride with Vernon and Kenny and other players? He said, give them to me.
Yeah.
I'll get them.
He knows what to do.
Or give them that opportunity. You know what I mean? And mine was just that the anger, the frustration. And I was just like, because when you're a competitor, as we all know on any level, when you're a competitor and you don't feel that stuff is not in your hands circumstantially. So for me being a pure receiver and saying it's third down and we're running this damn ball, are you telling me, you get what I'm saying? I want the rock. People say receivers are divas. No, the two most arrogant positions, you'll hear me say this time and time on any football field, are cornerback and wide receivers. It's not
quarterback for sure.
Cornerbacks and wide receiver are the two most self-centered, athletic, arrogant positions on the football field, because it's me versus you, mano y mano.
Absolutely.
We have to be the most. You have to be the most athletic, some of the fastest, the most agile, all of the above. You have to cover the whole thing. That's why most athletes are cornerbacks and receivers. Unless you have a freakish athlete that was a quarterback, dual threat, that was, you notice how a lot of them get categorized. Vernon, athlete. Lamar Jackson, athlete.
Yep.
Michael Vick, certain one, athlete. It's always the athlete label because it's the freakish nature of the athleticism. Now we can say we can plug and play this kid at these skill positions and they will succeed. You know what I mean? But just the Coach McBride, it's just ironic that happened. I heard the same thing. They wouldn't let me go though. But I surely would have taken that. But it's just something, man. It's just something. That's pretty dope. But that's Coach McBride. That's Coach McBride.
I tell you what, it is funny you say that, Kenny. I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm about to bring something back to you all remembrance. I remember we was getting ready. We just won a Big 8 championship. We were still Big 8 at the time. Mm-hmm. And we just won a title against Oklahoma. Unfortunately, I got hurt. I tore my groin muscles in my legs and also in my back.
Oh,
and yeah. That pretty much ended my career. I mean, I went out in the spring, but we'll talk about that in a second. It's funny, Kenny actually got hurt too that game. Well, I don't know if it was the game. It was probably the game before. I think he hurt his leg, knee or something. Kenny was doing a damn good job. He did a great job. I have to give him the love. Anyway, he got hurt. And so now you got behind Tyrone Leggett and Curtis Cotton. We was the two that was behind those two. And Kenny was actually the third down. I mean, not third down, but he was the third receiver. So he was going in, alternating. We got hurt. And coach like, man, we need an athlete to come in and play. I was going to try, but I'm like, no, I can't move. Kenny was not moving. Guess who they put on the other side of the ball?
T. Hughes?
Tyrone Hughes.
Oh.
So that's how that happened. And Tyrone Hughes was our receiver and specialty punt returner. T. Hughes played DB against Miami. Tyrone Hughes got drafted, right?
Yeah.
And he got drafted by the Bears, if I'm not mistaken. I think. You may have to look that up, Bryan.
I'll trust me. I'm going to look that one up because, I remember Tyrone being amazing while he was here.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, he was an athlete, but most guys are athletes. You take some running backs and make them linebackers because they know how to read the holes. You take receivers and make them DBs or vice versa. I think T. Leggett, if I'm not mistaken, he was a running back. Wound up going to the other side of the ball.
And most of them go to safety. Most of them, the smaller ones, go to safety.
Yeah. Ernie Biller was a running back. Came up, me and him played together. He'd come up and knock people here. I mean, you got athletes where you can move them around. And so that's what happened. And I think Coach McBride was instrumental in making sure people fit, not just in a certain spot. But if you're an athlete, I can teach you the position.
Now, what's the story you had touched on a little while ago there, Vernon? You talking about when you and Kenny were younger?
Oh, yeah. He going to get on the line. He going to tell you something different.
I love it. Let's do this.
But I'm going to give it up to him. He say, Kenny was a quarterback, and I was the running back. And we had another guy, Andre Tucker. You all wouldn't know him, but all three of us was in the backfield. The coach say, Kenny right, Kenny left. I'm like, what the hell you mean? And I'm a little kid. What you mean, Kenny right, Kenny left? Kenny would take the ball and run, and he was good, and so on and so forth. But I got my moment to shine too. So Kenny would come in and say, yeah, coach say Kenny right, Kenny left. And I ain't gonna argue with him because he's right. I give it to him. So make sure you let him hear this podcast and let him know that I gave it up to him.
That's hilarious.
Oh, damn. Oh, I'm gonna have to find a way to make sure that happens too.
You know, he gonna be like, hey, bro, hey, VP know what's up, bro.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I ain't saying I was no slouch. Now I ain't say that.
Yeah, man.
I ain't say that. I was just saying, sometimes you got to give it up to those who did their thing.
Yeah.
And he was good. He was an athlete. He was good.
Yeah. You're talking about Kenny Wilhite. Yeah. I mean, these are names I remember. It's crazy to think that sometimes I have trouble remembering what the hell I did 10 minutes ago. But you start talking to me about Nebraska football, I can start rattling off names, games, scores, stats. Oh, boy. Needless to say, my brain absorbed a lot of stuff it didn't need to instead of the stuff it probably should have. I can live with that. Yeah, we can live with that. I mean, we have people, like I said, I'm playing with some amazing people, Reggie Cooper, what's his name? Just a lot of guys. I can't think of all the guys, but I played with some amazing people, man, over the years. Yeah, you were blessed enough to play with Calvin Jones as well. Calvin was an amazing back while he was here.
Condolences to him and his family.
Yep.
Yeah, he's Calvin was amazing. And I unfortunately he will be, but I'll be remiss not to say this name.
Scotty B.
And I still get emotional with this one. Scotty Baldwin. Scotty Baldwin was a man's man. And the reason why I get so emotional about Scotty, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I was initiated in 1990. And part of my initiation process was to make sure we provided educational experience and life experience to young men who seek the knowledge and understanding on how to provide excellent community service to the people we serve. Scotty was also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I get so emotional behind that is because Scotty was like he was a member, but he was also like my pledge son. And when I say pledge, not pledging, but he went through the initiation. I looked out for him. And I made sure that he captured a lot of everything that he's gone through to become a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Great running back, remind me of Eric Dickerson. Very strong guy from New Jersey. I mean, he had the will, polish, and the knowledge to do what he needed to do. And under the guidance of Kappa Alpha Psi, we've learned a lot about Scotty. He learned a lot about the fraternity and how to become a better man. And he's just one of the many. Ken Clark, Leotis Flowers, Derek Brown. I played with all those guys, Calvin Jones. And, there are some names that even some of the guys that was not mentioned or you didn't see a lot. We had backs after backs after backs.
Yeah.
So, all right. Sorry, guys. I'm good now.
No. See, that's what this is about. When I tell you that this is a community as far as Husker podcasts go, this is what we do. We look out for each other. You got something to say, you say it. It don't matter what kind of feelings or emotions it's going to stir up. It doesn't matter. You want to say it, get it off your chest. If you're angry about something, you go right the hell ahead, because this is an open forum and a safe space. Not to mention all of Husker Nation has your back, Vernon, so don't even ever worry about that.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll take a quick shift out of that one, We'll go ahead and, I mean, Vernon, you're obviously well removed from the game from your playing days here, as well as Kenny is. But
you calling us old, Bryan?
Hey, I'm calling myself old.
That's what I'm hearing, Kenny.
He sneak dissing us, Bryan. He calling us old. Hey, man, cut that out.
He did.
Man, I date myself too. Come on now.
You dating us, Bryan. Don't put no date range on us, man.
7 years old and 89, for God's sake. I mean, I'm dating myself here.
Oh, man.
But as far as today's game goes, Vernon, obviously the trials and tribulations this program has gone through in about the last decade, it looks like Rule's doing the right things. He's bringing in the right players. He's bringing in the right personnel as far as staff. And especially when he loses somebody on the staff unexpectedly, it seems like he's got that replacement already in mind and ready to go. So could I get just your thoughts and opinion real quick on how you think Rule's been doing since his time starting here?
Can I take one step back before I go to Rule?
Yep.
Absolutely.
We'll be remiss, and I'm going to say this, and I hope Husker Nation understand what I'm talking about. And if I say something that offends people or
they'll get over it,
then I apologize now. However, I don't think, he's doing a good job. I'll get back to him. But there are cornerstones that was set before him that was remiss and not given a chance to follow through. You had coaches that was given chance after chance after chance after chance to have a successful program, but then you give some limited chances. And those limited chances, after they start building, they start bringing people to the program, you don't give them a chance to see that thing through. And maybe I'm biased because I know where these people come from. Mickey Joseph.
Thank you.
That was my teammate. Mickey was a hellified ball player, running back. Quarterback, but he could play running back too if need be.
Mm-hmm.
But Mickey wasn't given a chance to build the team as he seen fit. And because of what they think it should look like, he wasn't given the opportunity to expand his coaching knowledge to get to the point where he needed to get them boys to. I'm sad by that. Being a former Husker, I still support because that's my school. But I'm kind of sad that we didn't give him a chance. We gave people before that a chance, but we didn't give him a chance. Maybe they used him as a filler until they got what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the name that brings? Are we looking for a name to give clout? Or are we looking for hard-nosed talent to get us where we need to go? And I don't know. I think they didn't give Mickey the opportunity to really do his thing. For whatever reason, whatever happened, whatever. I just think Mickey was actually building. And you can see the team coming together as a team. And they looked at him as a player's coach.
Mm-hmm.
And helped them to expand. Nicky came from some very good schools prior to that. He coached at LSU. He had some great receivers. Did we forget the receivers that he coached down at LSU?
They're in the NFL.
Yes. Did we forget some of the talent that he actually had put his hand on, his stamp of approval?
And recruited.
Does that not count for something? So I don't know. Turner Field could have been given an opportunity. Huh?
Yeah, it proves this day. It proves in this day and age, it's what have you done for me lately, instead of look at all I've done for you.
Right.
So I don't know. I just look at things a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if my former teammate Trev Albers had the opportunity. I know he did everything he could. but he only can do what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just think, in my being a former Husker outside looking in, like, man, why didn't you give this person a chance to see what we can do? Now, going to the present, I think he's doing a good job. I really do. I think it's still going to take time to get back to what I'm used to. It's over these past few years, I just don't know what a Husker team look like. I think it's a team dressed up in red.
It was cosplay.
White.
It was cosplay every weekend.
Yeah.
Which Vernon, which I'm gonna say it and Bryan will say it, which comes back to me saying what were the expectations when you came into Nebraska?
Oh man,
what were you playing for?
I was playing for national championships every year. We weren't playing for a conference championship, national championship, nothing less. I had all the years I was at Nebraska, we always had a successful season. I never lost more than 3 games. And part of the 3 games was the bowl game. It wasn't regular season games. And I didn't play it against some high talented people. Eric Bieniemy. I played against some guys. Ooh. You know, really. The Colorado days. Oklahoma days. You know, the Oklahoma States. You know, we played against some boys.
Kansas State was good then. Kansas was good then. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not something that we can sneeze at.
No, Big 8 was a tough conference. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, yes. I don't know what this looks like now. I don't know. I mean, then I got every Saturday, I'm wishing and praying. And like, man, I'm sitting there with one of my guys that went to Iowa, and we got this little friendly bet going. And every damn year we lose by 3 points. How you keep losing by 3 points in the field goal? How you keep losing with a minute left in the damn game? And I don't understand that. So at some point, you stop and say, whoa. Do we run the clock or what do we do?
It's hilarious, VP, because everything you're saying, it's almost like he's parroting what I'm saying. And we have, Bryan, it's everything, all of us that come on and say, and it's funny because people be like, Kenny, they give me all these excuses online. And I'm like, cut the shit. Yeah. The goal when you walked in that building, not only from the coaches, but from the players that were older than you, were national. The expectation was national title or bust.
Absolutely.
Anything less than a national title or being in that contention to play for that national title, then if you lost, it was the depression. But it was not. The expectation was national title, not conference championship, not a bowl game. It was national title.
Hey,
and with that expectation. If that expectation is set, guess what the players do? They're going to work 10 times harder than they need to be working.
They go work 10 times harder.
They're not going to go through the motions. The coach is not going to let you go through the motions. There's not going to be an excuse. You're going to be held accountable for everything you do, from the classroom to the weight room to how you eat to knowing your assignments to practice, preparation to what you do in the game. That's accountability, people. And I'm glad you said that, BP, because I've said it, and you come on and literally said everything I've said. That's why you saw me and Bryan going, and I mean going.
Yeah. It almost felt like he'd gone back, watched every episode we'd done, and just took your notes verbatim and just said, hell, I'm just going to repeat it today.
Let me tell y'all something. And this is real talk. My expectations based off, like I said, me coming from East St. Louis, it was nothing. We look at national championships. So for me, I had to analyze which college team aligns closely to what I do and where I come from. And honestly, it was Nebraska. It was the Oklahomas. It was those teams that was, the Miamis. It was all those teams that I would say, this lines closely to what I look at.
Mm-hmm.
And me sitting at home on Christmas or New Year's Eve, and I'm watching Nebraska, and I'm like, shit, that's where I want to be. Because it aligns more so with me. So now I'm looking at Nebraska, and I'm like, or Are they just winning to have a successful season to go 6-6, or 7-7 is a successful season? Not to me. That shit don't add up.
Yep.
Thank you.
You said it perfectly, Vernon.
I'm trying to keep it clean, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, we don't care about clean.
No, we don't give a shit about that whatsoever. Like, the only curse word I think we have not dropped on here is the C-bomb. That is the only curse word I don't think we've dropped, because first of all, we don't have the right.
Yeah.
we don't have the right to use that word. Right. So anything else is fair game.
So, okay. Well, I don't do it that often.
Trust me, VP. They have pissed me off many a podcast show. Okay. And I've said some shit on here, and I'm like, hey, man. Woo.
Hey, well, I guess what? I don't try not to use it unless I'm really passionate about something. So I'm really passionate about this, but yeah, I mean, I can talk about Nebraska and I can talk about the Cowboys too, which is my squad, and people give me a hard damn time about that. But guess what? I ride who would I ride with. And yes. At the end of the day, it is who it is.
VP,
that's right.
The Cowboys in Nebraska has ruined many a weekend for me.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I think it, because I don't affiliate with any NFL team. I just never picked one really. But if I was a Cowboys fan and a Huskers fan watching all the shit that happens weekend in and weekend out, I don't know if I could watch football anymore at this point.
Well, some people was on the cusp of catching hands.
See?
When they talking about both of them, and I'm pissed.
That's right. What I mean.
On the cusp of catching hands.
Well, let me tell you how bad it is for me. And I was at work, and I made a bet, friendly bet.
Oh, shit.
And the bet was Michigan versus Nebraska.
Oh, shit.
And I know, I did it. So I'm like, no, we gonna do our thing. So okay, the loser have to walk around with that team's shirt.
Oh no.
For the whole day. They went and bought the small. Now I'm not 160 anymore. I'm about 190 now, so I ain't 160. They went and bought the tightest shirt possible. I'm walking around with this Michigan damn shirt. It had to be the most yellow, brightest shirt that they found on the shelf. And this big ass imp.
Oh.
I said, I can't wear this shit too long. I'm gonna wear it. I'll walk around and then I'm gonna take this shit off. Nope, the deal is to wear it all day. I'd never do that again. Not under not this team. Till I see some different shit. I ain't putting myself out there like that.
Oh man.
Hey, I told somebody I was so pissed one day. I told him I might bite the hell out of him. I'm gonna bite the shit out of you.
Yeah, for Kenny.
I was like, I'm gonna bite the shit out of you. I'm so mad right now.
I know when Kenny's actually upset because he'll either cuss on Twitter or he'll cuss on here. That's when I know something's gotten to him.
Yeah, I can understand, my brother. I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, we're hitting about the hour mark here, so I don't want to keep it too much longer, Vernon. I did have one more question for you. Obviously, you talked about Charlie McBride. Obviously, the black shirts. It's a long-standing tradition. And up until maybe the last couple seasons, they've been kind of suspect. Judging from what you've seen these last couple seasons, and granted, we did lose our defensive coordinator to Florida State, but I got a feeling Butler's going to do just fine filling in that role. Do you see this defense just making even bigger strides than they did last year?
You see, this kind of got me stuck. I'm going to put it this way.
That's why I love these questions.
I'm going to put it this way. And I hope some of my past teammates can vouch and say what I'm saying. A black shirt to me is not just something that's given. Hell, you can lose your black shirt quick. They'll take your black shirt and give you a yellow. Back down to the white. A black shirt to me, right now, they looking faded black. They're not they don't have the. I mean, you have good players. You got some Robinson, some of those good players. Some of them.
You don't got to sugarcoat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've had other black shirts on here, and we've let them rip. And I'm gonna tell you what Zoe Brink said after you're done.
Okay, then that's my guy too. So I just let y'all know.
I know.
No, man, this some bullshit. So it should be faded black. It ain't black. The shirts are not black anymore. They need that because with black shirts you win. You can't be a damn black shirt and lose.
Yep.
Don't nobody fear that black. Don't nobody fear what actually it stands for. That's what I'm talking about. It's about selling merch. That's what that. Now y'all guys, y'all doing a good job. I ain't talking about y'all, but I'm talking about you selling bullshit to people that don't believe or believe something that's not true. You're living off the past histories of people that actually laid the groundwork. These guys, and it's not their fault, but they don't understand the tradition. We got away from tradition. You're not bringing the people in that help build that tradition. You got people that's coming from the outside that truly don't understand the magnitude of where these terminologies came from. That truly understand that a black shirt is from the grit. They from the grind. These people don't need much. I played in damn mud. I didn't have a field. You got people like Tyrone Leggett, Tyrone Hughes, Tyrone Bird. You got these guys that played in not the best of conditions.
Yep.
You got Lorenzo Brinkley. I know his bring up. You got Kenny Wilhite. I know Ernie Biller. I know these guys and what they come from. And that's why we talk about black shirts. Reggie Cooper. Those guys come from that era. They understand nothing's given. You have to take what you want. It was pride for us when people scored 2 touchdowns. We was sad. We wanted to put that thing on their head. So if you want me to step outside of my comfort zone, Kenny, I'm doing it now.
Yeah, because that's what I want. Because people, like I said, I think people watch it and they hear me or when I say stuff and they think I'm just being like, no, I'm telling you, I'm an offensive player. And Vernon will vouch for this. Guys used to cry when they got a black shirt. That's how much it meant to them to get a black shirt. It meant something. It wasn't something just, this and that because they're black. No. So when Lorenzo was on here, and what did he say, Bryan? That's gone.
Dude, that was like almost 2 years ago. Come on now.
He said, Lorenzo said, that's Kenny. They got to understand that old black shirt stuff, that's gone.
It is.
It's that tradition, that old school stuff, everything you said. He said, that's no longer there. He said, it's just a name now.
Yeah.
He said, it's gone. Remember, Bryan? He said, that's gone.
And Vernon's right. It is. It's a side brand at this point for merch.
Them guys, when I was there in UVP and y'all, it was something. And that's why I laugh, because when Bryan hear me or people say, Kenny, some black shirt. I don't give a damn about no black shirt. I wasn't a black shirt, but I love the black shirt because what it meant to those dudes.
Yep.
Hey.
I mean, it was something for them to get that black shirt. When we walked in that locker room, them dudes had that shit in their locker room, in their locker hanging. Bruh.
And you can't, anybody just can't wear it. Like I said, it's embedded in you. And to get that black shirt, as he stated, you cry. You're like, damn, I worked my ass off to get it. I ain't gonna give it. Now I've seen guys get that black shirt and then get demoted.
Get it snatched
off. The same
off.
way they cried when they got that black shirt was the same thing they did when they lost it.
When they had that yellow shirt on.
That yellow shirt. That bright ass. I had the yellow shirt on for
The black letters on it.
Absolutely. You're like, damn. Matter of fact, once upon a time, we didn't have, let me see. I can't remember. I want to make sure. I don't know if we had numbers on our yellow shirts.
I don't think you did, actually.
We did.
Some may have, or they might just be. I think some may have because they had
the
numbers.
And they might have been some that
when I was there, they had them on there because you that's who you knew who the hell was out there covering. Oh, that's so and so. That you know what I mean?
Okay, that might have been the case. I just can't remember. My mind is. I'm 54. I'll be 54 here pretty soon. So my mind is.
Oh shit! You ain't old. You ain't old, Vernon. That ain't old, man.
That's old. That's old.
That's not man. Old. Not these days. That ain't old no more.
Ooh, I feel it. But yeah, guys, this was truly a joy, an honor, as I stated, for you all to give me the spotlight to speak on what means a lot to me. And oftentimes people say, oh, no, this Grant Wistrom, no, I didn't want that to happen. So I want to speak my truth. And I dare anybody to challenge me to say it didn't come from you, VP. And listen, it probably came even before that. I don't know. I know I brought it to Nebraska.
You said that. You even said that. You said it could have come before you brought it here, but you know damn well I brought that
to Nebraska.
That's all I needed to know.
Yep. And hopefully, and I know the movie coming out day by day.
Yeah. If you have not seen both parts of that documentary, you've got to. It is well done, well filmed, great interviews, great clips from past games throughout those 2 seasons. It'd bring back a lot of memories, I'm sure, for you, Vernon.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. And I think it was because of, I think I was a little upset day by day. And it's not that I even needed to be mentioned, but I just wanted to understand the magnitude of why are you using that name and you really don't know why the name is used. You don't know why the prayer is used. Yep. Speak the truth on where the term came from and why.
A lot of people like to think it's just said as motivation, and it's not meant to be that. Yes, it's supposed to motivate you, of course, but it's also supposed to instill in you some hard life facts of how you should live, how you should perceive the world, how you should perceive your opponents, not just in a game, but in life itself. Learn to live like a good person, and good things are just going to happen for you. I don't care what anybody says. I know that is cliche as hell. It has been said for decades, if not centuries, but it's the damn truth. If you live good, good things will come.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, geez, I've even got to say, this is probably one of the funnest episodes I've done.
Yeah, probably one of the best, probably the best one.
You know what, guys? You know what? You don't have to make me feel good.
No, bro, this is real because we let you say, and it's a lot of informative stuff, and to hear a lot of the stuff that I've been saying, Bryan has heard me saying, and other people say, to hear the constant same thing being said and the sentiments behind it, for me, it makes people say, oh, now I see why the older players think the way they do and say the things that they say. Because a lot of times they hear what we say and think we say, and some ignorant reason, oh, you guys are hating. Why would we want to hate on our school that we bones, screw up body parts, and sacrifice for? We're the most. We're that's an insult.
Yeah, Kenny, you left here as a national champion. What do you have to be bitter about, to bitch about of the team now? I mean,
right.
It's not like you're coming from a place where you've got hard feelings.
Yeah, it's just the expectations we have when Coach Devaney hit that building up into Coach Osborne and Coach Solis, that the expectation is national championship. So we're going to be hard on you because we care about the state of our program.
Yeah.
That's why we're as hard as former players on these guys and what we see. And a lot of us hold no filters because we take this shit to heart.
Yeah. Hey, we take it to heart. And I'm going to tell you, the problem of what went on, I remember the days, and I could be wrong, so some of my former Huskers, y'all come back and correct VP. I remember the days standing in the dorms was not the business. But when we moved off, we only got $320, maybe $325 to live off campus.
It was $415 when I left.
Oh, well, shit. Ain't too much more change. $320. If you wanted to stay off campus, you had to go stay with somebody.
It was 3 or 4 years in the house.
Yes. Now, I mean, the luxury of, and I think I could be wrong, 2,500, 15 to 2,500.
They get about 3. They get about 3. See,
that's what I'm saying. Okay. So now for us to know we're not getting this, and we still choose to go to a city and play for a place where it's not conducive to where I'm coming from, it really shines the light on what the hell are you here for? Because I want to win a national championship at all costs. Yep. I'm here with the dirt. I'm here with the Cornhuskers. I'm here. These people don't have much. Buildings are not as tall as where I, seen. The skylights are not as tall. I'm in this damn cold weather. Not why you didn't go somewhere warm? I question that because warm weather is not always the best weather. Right. I want a national championship.
Right. And with that VP, I think with the way they have it now, they're not as tight as we were because of that. They don't have 4 or 5 guys in the house, y'all renting a house, and they weren't as tight as us as teammates.
Absolutely.
I think they deal with each other, they see each other, but to really be dogs and boys like we were. Listen, look how Vernon lights up when I say Lorenzo, K. Will, all these other dudes you stay with. If you sit up here and tell me Chevin Wiggins, that was my roommate. You say Octavius McFarland, that was my roommate. You say Warfield, that was my roommate. You say these names, we're in the same house. Hey, bro, what you doing? Hey, man, you want to go to McDonald's? Let's roll. I mean, you did everything together. So, I mean, it's just different. Like VB said, what are you there for? We're here to win, baby. We're down here to get it. The arguments, the video games, the Killer Instinct late night, the John Maddens, hey, man, it's just, you're there. You're there. So,
let me say this. I'll be remiss not to say this. Y'all got me fired up now. Me and Rizzo was into the video games and shit like that. And I think he used to use me as practicing targets. We sit in the room and we playing, I think it was Tecmo Bowl. And he used to whoop my ass every day. Tecmo Bowl, I was like, damn it, I couldn't beat him. But I got to say this. I want y'all to hear this. This is important. One of my closest friends in Nebraska, and even to this day, is Corey Dixon. Corey Dixon and I, make sure he hear this so he know that I ain't playing.
Oh, easily.
I got to get Corey D on here.
Okay, there we go. Come on. Corey, I mean, I had a lot of close ones, a lot of close ones. But Corey and I, we had similar upbringings. He's also my frat brother. But even before that, and even after that, I remember I stayed across the street from him. He stayed across the street from me. And my car broke down. He would give me one of the cars and get me back and front to the school. But I remember there were days, and this is real talk. I didn't have food in my house. After the lunch line closed or the food thing closed over at the spot, we didn't have anything after a certain period of time. Corey might have had hot dogs. I had pork and beans. We would come together and cook together. And we would feed each other in the sense of, here you go, dog. Here you go. We did that a lot. And that bond there will always remain the same. It's nothing that brother can't ask me for that I wouldn't give him. If he need my right arm, if he need my left leg, here, take it. Because that's what we did for each other. And it's a lot of other ones too. I mean, Twink Dog, Doug Waddles, and so on and so forth. But me and Corey did that. We struggled together. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. My lights, almost getting cut off. Shit, here, VP, what you need? Boom. That's that day by day. That's what the day by day is. So I want to make sure Corey know that, and I love that, brother. Like he is.
I'll make sure he hears this.
That dude is short. That dude is short. You know he gonna harass me when he hear that.
Yeah, he knows. I just want him to know, and that's real talk. It's real talk. So
and for those of you who don't know, I am also Vernon's frat brother. So we are all a member of the
I didn't want to
same
put that out there, Kenny.
Grand Noble clan. I've worn the hat on here. I've worn my Cap Alpha Psi hat on here before plenty of times.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
okay.
Hey, it's thicker than water, baby.
Tell him, Kenny. I didn't want to say I didn't because I didn't know what you done.
I done wore my hat on here many a times.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and not to rub any dirt in or salt in the wound there as far as what they gave you guys back then to live off campus, Vernon, but just as a perspective or a comparison, I guess, our starting quarterback, Dylan Raiola, as far as NIL went after this season was over, roughly made 2.1 million.
What?
Yeah.
What? 1 point. Man, you know what?
19 years old.
1.9.
19.
I don't have to know. Come on.
Yeah.
And is that going right into his bank account?
Oh,
Can
yeah.
He spend it the way he wants to spend it?
Yeah.
Yes, he can. It's a new day and age of college football, Vernon. I know, man.
You
guys got royally
when
screwed.
they came out with the college game, that's screwed. Yeah, we got screwed. They was using our not our images because they couldn't use that, but they was using our number. This is Nebraska football.
Yep.
And we see our numbers trotting onto the damn field on the video game and so on and so forth.
Yep.
They making money off that now.
Yeah, at least now the players that they use get paid. Yeah. Yeah, you guys should have gotten paid for that shit. When they brought out the college football games, I mean, granted, that's why it went away for so long. Because, yes, the players should have been getting compensated something for using their – and at that time, it got so advanced where it was their image, not just their number at that point. Yep. They looked just like the person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you had to figure it out, and I'm glad they did because thank God we got the college football game back. Oh, my God. I still play it like crazy. I'm all right. I just finished my 2029 season. Dylan Raiola's long graduated. Everybody's long graduated. I got a bunch of new computerized generated names of guys that, nobody would even know.
Wow. That's kind of sad because
Kenny
was a hellified. I don't know if he told you. And Kenny was this Kenny Cheatham. I'm in Arizona now. And he is a world-renowned person around here. I was coaching for his high school. And they this is top dog. Nebraska really should be really blessed to have this kid. He was this. I'm like, really? Then I found out, that's my frat. I knew that was my frat brother. But I'm like, damn, he come from loyalty. This guy here should have been getting paid.
Top dog, bro. I ain't bragging
I mean,
on myself.
Honestly.
People forget.
And I ain't even saying that too.
Bryan has heard me say it. I'm the reason Nebraska can come in Arizona.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You got Toby. Yeah. Okay. And that's my family. You got Bird. But I was they can come in here.
People still to this day, Kenny.
Numero uno in the state.
To this day, Kenny, I thank you so much for not going to Colorado.
People did not say that, and I'm not even.
He was talking about Tennessee because he liked the checkers in the end zone.
Yeah. This is. Yeah.
You said you liked Colorado
in 3 sports. I was.
Yeah, you said you considered Colorado just because you loved the colors,
the black uniforms.
It's crazy.
Black uniforms.
Craziness.
Yeah.
It's crazy talk, Kenny.
We ain't gonna hold you, VP. I'm gonna call you after this too.
Yeah, you look like you're ready to get your lunch on for this Sunday, and we're breaking into that.
Have you laugh at me about last night?
Okay, please call me.
All right, so guys, we'll go ahead and shut her down now. At this point, you know where to find the show. Find us on YouTube. You just type in Husker Army Podcast, and of course, you find us on all the audio-only platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I'm sure there's a ton of others that people use. I just don't know the damn names. And then, of course, I got to let you know one last time, the new link for the merch. That is shop.hurrdatsports.com. You go check that out. Pick yourself up something. Then you post a picture of you either wearing or sporting the merch you got, or send it to us in a DM. And just like we make for all our guests, you'll get your own enlisted graphic made for you with that picture as well. So like I said, shop.hurrdatsports.com. Go and check that out. And of course, make sure to support all the great Husker podcasts and shows for the Hurrdat Sports Network. They all do an amazing job, a lot of hard work going on. So, I mean, at this point, this was an amazing episode. Vernon, I can't thank you enough. We finally have some light shed on the origins of the prayer coming here. Thank God. It's about time people knew the actual story, and this is the platform for it, man. I'm so thankful and honored that you decided to come on and join us, man. Thank you so much, Vernon.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. So you know where to find us. You know where to find the merch. You know where to find me, Kenny. You see it right there at Husker Army Pod or at Husker Noop 1911. So at this point, Husker Army, Husker Nation, you know what to do. At ease, you are all dismissed.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.